a little while, a couple weeks, with New Year's and the holidays since we've had a chance to get on and do a live video, do a live market update. But we are back now. We are simultaneously broadcasting onto our Facebook page and onto our YouTube channel.
Yeah, we're ready for 2020 to get into full swing. We have high hopes. I think it's going to be a great year. And we're here to talk about the forecast coming up and what the latest sales were for the past, or since the beginning of the year.
That's right. And we've already had people calling us. Just got a call last night from someone actually in the state of Oklahoma looking to come to Portland. So we have family coming up from the Carolinas in about 2 weeks. So if you were looking to come to Portland, Maine, or just making a move within the greater Portland area, let us know. It's a great time to be looking. There's still things out there. People are, as you'll see, we're going to talk about in a little bit. Transactions are happening. So reach out to us. The number is on the screen. Call, text us anytime.
And for those of you who are considering a possible sale, the market is low on inventory right now, meaning that you can sell quickly and for a good price.
Right.
So if that's you, let us know. We'd love to add your home to the inventory. We can get more buyers and homes, reach everyone's goals.
Absolutely. Okay, so now let's turn our attention to our market watch. So on this weekly market watch, Matt and I cover two general areas. One is we look at very closely is the Casco Bay area, the waterfront waterview properties, and then we turn our attention back to the greater Portland area.
Yeah.
Okay, so starting with the weekly Casco Bay market watch. So now in Casco Bay, as a reminder, is the area between Cape Elizabeth to the south to Cape Small and ending at the Phippsburg Peninsula on the northern side. So that big sea that basically Portland is somewhat in the center of, facing out into the bay. Okay, so currently there are 95 active listings on the market with 31 homes under contract. That's waterfront, waterview properties under contract. The Casco Bay region this past week had 8 closings since the start of the new year. The lower priced end brought us a single family cottage with waterfront on Harpswell Neck to our north. The house features 2 bedrooms, 1 bath, and 1,200 square feet. Notably, the property came with a mooring to help keep your deep water boat at. Always a very desirable feature is to find a place with a mooring.
Yeah, you need permits to get those. So if your place on the water comes with it, it's one less thing for you to have to deal with.
That's right. It's usually through a harbor master or the local town, but if you've got it, it's great. The highest priced home on Casco Bay was a single family contemporary in Falmouth Foreside. It features 3 bedrooms, 3 baths, 2,900 square feet of living space, just over an acre, a very large lot for waterfront, and it's sold for $2 million, and notably its own private water dock right off the shore.
Yeah, I've seen the photos. The dock is pretty impressive. You can put a large boat off the end of that for sure.
Excellent. Okay, now not only do we do some Casco Bay news, but we also have a little extra news for the greater Portland area, so we're going to roll that into one to keep us under our time constraints.
Sure.
Okay, so let's jump over now to the weekly Portland Market Watch, which is the greater Portland area. So currently we have 150 active listings on the market, breaks out to 79 condos, 59 single-family homes, and 20 multi-family homes. Since the new year, January 1, there have been 24 closings in the Portland market. The lowest price closing was a condo in the West End. It sold in 45 days for $163,000, just $16,000 less than the original list price. Features 1 bed, 1 bath, and 560 square feet.
All right, a little on the smaller side.
Right, in the West End. Highest price home, another condo in the Old Port section of Portland. New construction featuring 2 beds, 2 baths, 1,300 square feet of living space, good sized condo. Sold after 108 days on the market for its list price of $875,000.
All right.
So it shows you for really first class level space with all the amenities. You definitely, Old Port is definitely, getting up there.
Yeah, there's a lot of new developments around the Old Port that are pretty impressive.
Right.
Luxury ones either on a wharf themselves or right near the water.
Yep.
So we're going to see a lot more of these high-end sales coming through throughout the year.
Definitely. Now, these higher priced properties generally have a longer days on market. This one was priced appropriately for the market and sold in an average number of days for 108 days. And that's comparatively speaking. If you're on the market now in that 300, just shy of 300 price range, 250, 350, days on market in the Portland area can be 25 days or less. So the higher priced homes definitely have a little bit longer time on market.
All right.
Okay, perfect. Now I'm going to turn it over to Matt, who will bring us some updated news for the greater Portland and general area.
All right, thanks, Mike. So One of my favorite parts about doing these news updates every week is the story that we can read based on the price points and the days on market, and it tells us where the market's moving. Yesterday, there was a huge conference in Portland here at the Holiday Inn by the Bay. It was the Morita Annual Forecast Conference. Morita is Maine Real Estate Developers Association. It was 5 hours long, and it was all about the future of real estate here. So a lot of great points, some really interesting statistics that I wanted to condense and share with you guys to give you an idea of where the market's going to be going here throughout the year. So stay with me. It's going to be informative. I think you'll enjoy it. Southern Maine residential forecast for multifamily. So this market, multifamilies, is forecasted to stay steady and strong. In Portland, the sales were down 14% from 18 to 19, but mostly because lack of inventory. In other markets, it soared. South Portland was up 33% in multifamilies. Saco Biddeford, 28. Right. Westbrook, 19. And Lewiston Auburn, 17.
Yeah. Definitely strong demand on multis. We see that also. We have a lot of people out now looking for multis. We have a lot of buyers in the office here.
Yeah, and the prices reflect it. To give you an idea, the average 2-unit price in Portland was $457, 3-unit $555, 4-unit $612. So in Portland, at least in the proper, if you're buying a multifamily, it's definitely pay to play. For rents, the average rents were generally flat in Portland in the past year. Studio about $1,000, 3-bedroom about $1,600. If you're on the peninsula, West End, East End, expect to pay more. If you're out in North Deering, Stroudwater, Riverton, expect to pay a little less.
It's interesting that they said the rents were basically flat, but we're seeing the prices sort of push up to the rents.
Right. I mean, if you're going to buy a 4-unit for $612,000, your rent has to be enough to at least pay your bills.
Right.
So.
Right. But it does look like that they're you might see it topping out, or you might have to see rents being pushed up if the price keeps going up. So it's just a matter of there's a tension there, obviously.
And to add to that, our new mayor in Portland, Kate Snyder, as well as the town council, one of their top priorities is affordable housing and dealing with the, what they call the housing crisis.
Right.
So I'm interested to see how policy will play out in helping keep prices low enough so it's affordable.
Right. And then the key there is bringing on new space. And they're talking about developing some space that's been typically undeveloped areas or more industrial areas and bringing them on for residential.
Right.
And that would be, to keep that affordable. That's really the building up as opposed to building out. We have more rooms.
Yeah, it's numbers on the market. We just need more units.
Right, we need more supply. We'll bring the price. We'll keep the prices in check for the rents. Yeah.
Yep. And then now here's the Southern Maine residential forecast for single-family homes. So similar, but a little slightly different animal here. The state's single-family home price statewide of $225 was a record, but the transactions were basically flat over last year, same amount. York and Cumberland counties alone, 40% of the sales with an average price of $312. So as you can imagine, that helped push up the average for the rest of the state, which the rest of the state's average was $169.
Right, a pretty big gap there. So we're in the two southernmost counties, right? York to our south, where we're sitting, and then Cumberland across from Portland. So really driving the market. And probably if you drill that down even deeper and look, that's the coastal half or the coastal third of Cumberland and York is really where that is being driven, and even deeper than that, going into Portland, let's say.
Yeah, Portland and anything around drives it. You've always heard the anecdote, there's two Maines. This really illustrates the fact of the two Maines.
That's right. It's very much so. Yeah.
For those of you as well who want to see these numbers on paper, our weekly email will come out with all of this. So if you're missing the numbers, you'll see them later. And then a trend that's decreasing is days on market. So you'll hear us talk about that. Basically, you put your house for sale, how many days until it actually sells? That's going down, which means it's still a seller's market. Single-family homes for sale in York and Cumberland counties were on the market an average of 15 days before they were sold. That's lightning fast.
Yeah.
It's been a steady decrease since 2015 when homes were almost spending 60 days, so 2 months.
Sure. Yeah. Now again, that's the tightening of the supply. That's
Right. A lot of people wanted to buy. And then in terms of who's buying, 75% of it's Mainers.
Is that right?
75%, according to Morita, is Mainers.
Right.
The other 25% are states that you could probably guess: Massachusetts, New Hampshire, Florida, New York, and California.
That's right. Yeah, and I've actually heard, we were at a conference not too long ago, we actually talked about some of the condos we talked about, and we did the market stats.
Oh, right.
Right, and they said that essentially, I mean, the developers and the reps for the condo communities were saying that these condos are being essentially bought by Mainers. They're not being bought by out-of-state people coming in and not living there. They're actually being bought by Mainers that have either come back to live in Maine,
Yep.
or have hit a certain point of their success in their careers or their lives that they're buying them. So, contrary to a lot of people feel that they're being pushed out by people coming out of state, the statistics say otherwise.
Right. And as, to go on what Mike was saying, a lot of these elderly, customers, buyers, they don't want to take care of the house anymore.
Right. So they're selling large houses and they're buying nicely appointed condos, putting their equity into a nicely appointed condo.
Where maintenance is taken care of.
Correct. Right. But it is local. So I know it feels like that pressure's coming from out of the state, but where the pressure is within the state. It's interesting.
3/4 is from the state.
Yep.
And then on the other hand, there's always new construction, right? We need more of that.
Right.
So new construction had a median price of $375, so better than everything else, but it only made up 8% of the sales. So not enough new construction. And then prices are predicted to continue to rise in 2020,
right,
but at a slower rate. So we expect to see a hot market in the spring.
Right.
And there may be a lot of battling over homes again, as there was last year and the year before, with offers over list price. So
right,
if you are looking to buy, do not wait, because it's only predicted to get hotter as we get closer to the summer months.
Right. I think that new construction drought, if you will, certain amount that has to do with the affordability to build the houses, right? The labor costs. Maine has also a labor shortage, especially in the trades and construction trades and contractors.
Yeah.
And so it's costing more and more to build these houses. So even with the prices going up, the profitability isn't always there.
And the cost of lumber has almost doubled in 2 years.
Right.
It's gone up quite a bit. So obviously, everything in Maine is for the most part built with wood.
Right.
So that makes a big impact.
Right. So that makes it hard to build these, for builders to really come into the market and give us inventory. So,
Right.
But again, things may change, and we will see some shifts in the market certainly going forward.
So we predict a really robust 2020. According to the top economists of TD Bank out of Toronto, they do not see a recession for the next couple of years. They only see one slightly in the manufacturing sector, but everything else appears to be really strong. So, good fortune to everybody, and let's see what this year brings.
Excellent. Well, there you go. That's our update for this week, and we will be back with regular updates. And also, if you're on our YouTube channel, click the button down there, subscribe, that little bell. We'll be posting new videos every week. We're trying to do at least 2 videos a week to bring you on information on the new neighborhoods, the cost of living, all the topics that are really interesting. People want to know when they're buying or moving, just living in Portland, and also what's fun to do. Yeah,
we have our own idea of what we want to do for videos, but please, if you have one you want to see, reach out. We'll be happy to do it for you.
That's right. Excellent. So until then, hit the subscribe button. If you're on Facebook, like our page so you can follow us and get updates. And until then, we'll see you on the next video.
Take care.
Take care, everyone. Have a great day. Good weekend. Bye-bye.